Ace monsters, this time for Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL. What is an ace monster? It's a monster that you carry with you no matter how much your deck changes over the course of the series. Different to boss monsters, as that is the ultimate form of your deck, the pinnacle of power. We're talking today about ace monsters. Now, I need to be honest with you all, Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL, it's my weakest Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. It's the one I struggle with the most, and I haven't actually watched from start to finish. I've watched a chunk of it sporadically, but never all the way through. Hopefully one day I can solve that, but for now, I am going to attempt to name all of the ace monsters for quite a few of the main characters, and you can tell me in the comment section below how wrong I am. But for now, let's start with Yuma and Astral. Now, what's different about these two, like every other main character we've done, is their ace monster isn't so simple. Now, I'm sure you're all saying, no, it's a very easy one to pick. It's number 39 Utopia, and yes, number 39 Utopia is the ace monster of Yuma and Astral together, as it fits the theme of the 2500 attack point trend we've got going on with main characters. It can be upgraded into a bunch of different ultimate forms for his deck. However, Yuma and Astral have their own individual ace/boss monsters that they use in the final episode. This is when they are split apart. So what are these monsters? For Yuma, he uses number F0 Utopic Future. It is the ability that it can't be destroyed by battle, and neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving this card. At the end of the damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, you can take control of that opponent's monster until the end of the battle phase. This face-up card on the field would be destroyed by a card effect. You can detach one material from this card instead. On the other hand, however, Astral's ace monster is number 99 Utopic Dragon. The big pull of this one is it has 4000 attack, woof, but its effect is once per turn you can target a number monster in your grave, special summon it in defense, but its effects are negated. During either player's turn, when a monster effect is activated that targets this face-up card, you can detach one material from this card, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. And just before we move on, you could probably make a case for some other cards being their aces, like for example Yuma, prior to having number monsters or separate from the number monsters, and be something like Gagaga Cowboy. Could have been like his ace card or something, so, you know, it's things like that. Tori Meadows. The unfortunate thing about Tori is that she is the Taya of this series, and she doesn't have the benefit of the doubt with Taya, who never lost a single on-screen duel. Tori is unfortunately relegated to the cheerlead position specifically for the main character. So, if she's always cheering on the main character, what would her ace be? It would be Fairy Cheer Girl. This card has the effect that by detaching an Xyz material, you can draw a card. And that's kind of all there is to it. Next we have Bronk Stone. His ace is a monster known as Tin Archduke. Its effect is once per turn. During either player's turn, you can attach an Xyz material from this card, target one monster your opponent controls, change its battle position. Flip monster effects are not activated when you use this effect. Kite Tenjo. Now, Kite, if you haven't watched the Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL series, is the Seto Kaiba of this series. And his ace monster is the perfect dragon to counter the main gimmick of the Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL series, Xyz summoning. His ace is Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. It can special summon itself by attributing 2 monsters with 2000 or more attack on the field. During the battle step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, quick effect, you can target that monster, banish both this card and that monster from the field. Return them to the field at the end of the battle phase, and if you banish an Xyz monster, this card gains 500 attack for each material it had when it was banished. Now, Kite has a little robot companion called Orbital 7. His ace is Googly Eyes Drum Dragon, which I feel like is a homage to Kite's ace being Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. He's got a Googly Eyes Dragon because he's kind of the comic relief character, but Googly Eyes' effect is once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card. It gains 1000 attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. If this card is destroyed while it has an Xyz material, you can banish one Super Defense Robot from your grave, special summon this card from your grave, then attach one Super Defense Robot from your grave to this card as a material. Speaking of robots, we're still not done. We also have the garbage disposal robot, Lilybot. This monster's ace monster is Recycled Rhinobot, a card that has never been made in the real world, but it has the effect that you can detach an Xyz material to target one of a face-up monster you control. It gains 500 attack. During the end phase, if this card has no Xyz materials, destroy the monster you control with the lowest attack. And if you do, inflict damage to both players equal to its original attack. Caswell. Now, despite him playing a Crash Bug themed deck, his ace monster is weirdly Antidote Nurse. We know this is his ace because this is the card that he offers to Yuma in the final episodes so he can duel against Astral. But its effect is, if this card battles an opponent's monster, the attack of the opponent's monster becomes its original attack. During either player's damage step, when a monster you control is attacking or being attacked, you can detach one material from this card. This monster gains 1000 attack until the end of the turn. Flip Turner. Now, Flip plays flip cards in his deck. He's kind of the Weevil Underwood of this series because Weevil did a thing with a card called Parasite Parasite where he got someone to put Parasite Parasite in somebody's deck so he could take advantage of that, and you could call Parasite Parasite one of his ace monsters. For Flip Turner, he did the same thing but a little bit sneakier in a way because he just pretended to be a nice guy and he gave a card called Baby Tiragon to an opponent so he could take advantage of it during the duel when they summon it, have an obligation. Baby Tiragon's effect is, during the main phase, you can detach one material from this card, target one level 1 monster you control, it can attack your opponent directly. That effect is meant to be useless. I don't remember the duel very well, but I think Yuma is able to take advantage of this effect and make it useful, but something along them lines anyway. Cathy Catherine. Her ace, I'm actually not too sure. It's a toss-up between two things. She's a cat lady, so she wants a cat-themed ace monster. It's either Twin-Tail Cat Lady or Cat Girl Magician. Cat Girl Magician has a lot in relation to the Dark Magician Girl, which you could think it that way, but I think it's Twin-Tailed Cat Lady, which makes sense since her deck revolves around level 1 monsters, and it was her first ever Xyz summon. Anna Kaboom. This girl, she just likes trains. Who am I to argue? Now, well, in a way, I would say her ace could have been Super Rocket Arrow Express. It's an interesting card. It'll cost you everything to play it, but it's kind of cool. I think her actual ace is the Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, which is actually one of my favorite cards. When people ask me what my favorite Xyz monster is, I normally say it's this one because I just like the name. And its effect is super simple. You detach a card from it, and you deal 2000 damage. And with 3000 attack as well, you can't really go wrong with this monster. Chill and Scorch. Now, these tag team duelists, they're just like the opposites. They're fire and ice. What would a fire and ice tag team duelist play? Well, they would play number 19, Freezadon, and number 61, Volcasaurus. Freezadon can, once per turn, if an Xyz monster you control would activate an effect by detaching an Xyz material, you can detach one Xyz material from this card instead. While Volcasaurus is on the field, it can, once per turn, detach one Xyz material from this card, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy that opponent's monster, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. You can see how these two monsters benefit from each other, Volcasaurus taking materials from the Freezadon instead so it can keep using its effect more and more. Pretty cool. Dextra. Butterfly Lady. What would a Butterfly Lady play? A Butterfly Ace monster. Photon Apperoperative. I didn't butcher that name, I'm sorry. Its effect is once per turn, you can attach an Xyz material from this card, target one defense position monster on the field, change it to face-up attack position, and if you do, it loses 600 attack. Nistro. Now, Nistro's interesting because he has two decks. While he's working for Mr. Heartland, his deck is a Bouncer deck, and his ace monster in that deck is Photon Strike Bouncer. Its effect is once per turn during either player's turn. When a monster effect is activated, you can detach one material from this card, negate the effect, and inflict 1000 damage to the opponent. However, push that monster aside, it's not his true ace because he has a real deck, and his real deck is an heroic deck, and his real heroic deck ace monster is Heroic Champion Excalibur. This monster has the ability to perform an OTK by using its effect to double its own original attack by detaching two of its overlay materials. Mr. Heartland. Mr. Heartland plays an infection deck, and while a lot of his core monsters are main deck monsters, I think the card he's really going for and his ace/boss monster is number 1, Infection Buzz King. Its effect is, during the standby phase, this card attaches a card in the opponent's grave to itself. And then, if this card was Xyz summoned, you can look at your opponent's extra deck, send one card from it to the graveyard. You can detach one material from this card, target one card your opponent controls, destroy it, then if it was a face-up monster, inflict damage to your opponent, equal to half of its attack. Trey Quattro Quinton. For Trey, his ace monster is number 33, Chrononomaly Maku Mech. For Quattro, it's number 15, Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder. Finally, for Quinton, it's number 9, Dyson Sphere. Oh, and how could I forget Vetrix? His ace is either number 8, Heraldic King Genome Heritage, or number 69, Heraldry Crest. I'm going to go with Heraldry Crest, number 69, only because it's his ace monster in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. It's the card that gets the summon animation. So I'm just going to give it to that one. I assume that's his ace. Why not? In fact, while we're talking about Vetrix, we might as well mention Dr. Faker. His ace is also a confusing one because we've got number 53 Heart Earth and number 92 Heart Earth Dragon. I assume Heart Earth is the ace, Heart Earth Dragon is the boss monster. If I had to go with one or the other, I think that's the right way around. Next up, we have the 7 Baryon Emperors. We'll quickly blast through all these. Their boss monsters are really easy to pick because it's just the chaos monster of all of their monsters, basically. Reginald Castle, aka Shark. Now, I think his ace monster is number 32 Shark Drake. Makes sense, Shark in the name and everything. Obviously, you get a bunch of upgraded forms, but I guess we've also got Nash. I'm not too savvy on what Nash's ace monster is. So if there's a difference between Shark and Nash's ace, not including boss monsters, you'll have to let me know, because that is not my strong suit. Rio Castle. Her ace, I would say, is Ice Beast Zerofin, whereas her Baryon form, Marin, is number 103 Ragnar Zero. Dumon, number 102 Star Seraph Sentry. Vector, number 104 Masquerade. Alito, Battling Boxer Led Yoke, or number 105 Battling Boxer Star Cestus. One of these two. Girag, number 106 Giant Hand. Mizar, number 107 Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, a good rival to the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Don 1000. Don 1000, probably Numeron Network, the field spell, is his ace monster. It's the ace monster for all those Numeron players I see. Well, you don't see him as much anymore on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, but the monster he's trying to get out is number C1000 Numeronius, and then that's got a boss monster form, number IC1000 Numeronia or something, but Numeronius, this is his ace monster. Number 96. Number 96's ace monster is number 96, Dark Mist. Easy. Roku. Now, Roku's ace monster is actually really hard to say because he plays a statue deck, with his deck consisting of all statue versions of ace monsters throughout the original series. So he's got like statue Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, Dark Magician Girl, and he even has a statue Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So I'm just going to say all of them. Now, Roku had a pupil, his name was Kaze, and his ace monster was Blade Armor Ninja. And with that, that is all the ace monsters of Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL that I know of. The reason why, by the way, Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL is my worst one is because I watched Duel Monsters and GX growing up. 5Ds I didn't watch, and then I tried to watch as much of it as possible as an adult kind of thing now. And I got to the WRGP kind of thing where they're playing like Team Unicorn stuff. And then I stopped there, but I feel like I know the rest of the series, so I'm okay with that one. But it's not my strongest. ZEXAL, I never really tore through it, even though I think some of the animation's good and some of the duels are good. I don't know, I just kind of dropped off there. And then Arc 5, I actually watched all the way through, and I did like reviews for it, so I'm quite knowledgeable of Arc 5. And then Brains is short, and I did reviews for it, so I smashed that one out the park. And then I did just the first 2 or 3 episodes of Go Rush. We're not going to do those anyway, because it's a completely different format with original Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess. So yeah, that was the video done. Let me know if I made any mistakes in the comment section below. But other than that, thank you very much, and we'll do Arc 5 whenever we do this next. Thank you for watching, everyone. Catch you later.